Hey guys, it's Kevin with the new warehouse here at ProMat 2025, and I am in the Interfit booth. And today we're going to talk about getting your tires to fit right and what that means exactly. And we're also going to talk a little bit about tires and material handling, what types of applications does Interfit deal with, when is the right time to make sure you change your tires, and how to know that as well. And Robert Renfrew is going to tell us all about that. So Robert, it's good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Definitely. Thanks for welcoming me into your booth here.
Absolutely.
So give us a little overview. What is Interfit?
So Interfit is the company-owned service network provider for Trelleborg. Now Yokohama acquired Trelleborg Wheel and Tire from Trelleborg Group back in 2023. So we still have the rights to actually sell the product under Trelleborg. So we specialize in the service side of the business, the actual installation of the product. We have 10 locations right now between the US and Canada, and we want to double our locations over the next 3 to 5 years. So we have a mix of brick and mortar locations and different Interfit lights where we actually partner with OEA dealers on a local level. And then we have the mobile press trucks where we actually go to the job site and do the tire pressing and tire change outs.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about what goes into making sure you have the right fit on tires and changing those tires for material handling.
So we have sales professionals in all of our buildings, and when we go out to a customer, we're going to actually engage with the fleet and where the job is and what they're doing. We want to make sure that you have the right blend of performance, because the right tire is going to give you better safety, better performance, and it's going to indirectly give you cost savings through fuel efficiency, extended battery life if it's an electric engine, and then different snares, different tread compounds that we have for different environments. If you're in a sterile environment, you're going to want a non-marking tire. If you're in a location that handles electronics or chemicals, you're going to want something that can dissipate the electricity. So that's our job, to go in there and make sure that we're actually putting the right product for the application, which can be a little tricky if you're not well versed in the forklift tire game. Yeah. It's very different than every other segment out there. So you really have to understand the actual application that machine is being used for. And safety is key. You want to make sure that you have the right product on there. When you're lifting a weight, a 4,000 pound load, 20 feet in the air, even the slightest little flex on that front tire tilts the balance of the load. Forklift, no, not at all. So you have to make sure you have the right product in for the right application.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, you guys are the experts there to be able to advise and make sure that the right tire is being put on that material handling equipment, so you don't run into that tip scenario or any other kind of safety risk or potential there. But what about from a performance perspective? How does the right tire give you better performance out of that equipment as well?
So one of the things you want longevity out of your tire, right? But you also need cost. And we are a premium tire. We own 50% of the OE market. So Trelleborg is synonymous with quality. We make, in my opinion, the best forklift tire in the market. So you're going to get high performance out of all of our product lines no matter what. But then you want to focus on things like the rolling resistance on the tire, so it also saves money on the back end. And you just need to make sure you have the right application, the right tire for that application. One of the things we run into a lot, and it's almost counterintuitive to a standard tire industry, we'll go into, say, a bottling plant, and they're not carrying heavy loads, right? They're just picking up empty, loose bottles, and they're prematurely wearing out their tire. Well, we go in and we talk to them, and we actually tell them it's because of weight that your tire is wearing out prematurely. Because the back of the forklift is carrying all the weight, there's not enough weight on the front to take the weight off the steer axles. So you need to bump up to a premium tire or a wider width. So it's all about finding the right tire for performance and longevity.
Absolutely, finding the right fit, right?
Yes.
With Interfit, yeah,
yes.
Is what you do, definitely.
Yes.
So very interesting there, because I think it's, we think we're using this equipment all day, every day, and I think that the tires aren't always necessarily like top of mind, right, for the operator or the user. Not something like they should be checking, right? But probably maybe they're a little late for their shift and they're jumping on and maybe not making the right check on that. So how do you make sure, and what kind of indicators can you look for to say like, oh, it's time to swap these tires out and get new tires?
That's a very common thing we find about when to change out the tire. Because the problem is you don't want to prematurely change out that tire, right? You want to get the most bang for your buck. You want to ride it out. And we see that a lot. People pulling a tire too soon, but you also don't want to let it go, because then you run the risk of damage, a blowout, chunking. So every tire we manufacture has a little arrow on it that says TWI. It's tread wear indicator. So you know when the tread gets down to that point, that's when it needs changed. And we also provide different gauges you can use. Now that can be kind of complicated. Like you said, guys jump on, they don't want to check that. So one thing that we did that was really great is we have a patent, it's called the pit stop line, built into our tires. And it's an orange strip. You cannot miss it. If you see orange in the tire, you have 100 hours left and you know that tire needs to come off. But we also offer fleet surveys free of charge at all of our facilities. We'll gladly go in, inspect all your forklifts, all your tires, and we can build a report and send it to you to let you know which tires need to be changed out on your fleet. So we can do full account management.
Interesting. And I'm curious too, I mean, because obviously you guys are changing a lot of tires, I'm sure, right? So like how often is it the case you go in and, you know, someone is either, maybe they've gotten like a used forklift from somebody and you go in and you're like, oh, like you have the wrong tires on here, like you need to switch out. Is that a common occurrence?
It's very common. And when you get a brand new forklift, it'll come with a premium product, it comes OE. But when you get a forklift aftermarket, it's coming with whatever the previous customer had put on it. And it could be a different application from what you're running now. And there's so many variables that go into a forklift. Are you inside all the time? Are you outside all the time? Are you doing a mix of both where you're in and out? Are you on gravel? Are you running up braided rails that are going to chew up your tire? So it's very important, even if you do get a forklift, that's where we come in as the professionals, when we can come out and assess the fleet, assess the operation, what you're hauling, what you're doing on a daily basis, and then we can make our recommendation on which product to put in there for your fleet to optimize its performance.
Interesting, yeah. Because I think about that scenario a lot, and people are just like, oh, I need a forklift, so I go out, maybe I buy one. Maybe it's from a legitimate dealer, or maybe it's just from like, oh, I got a friend who also has a warehouse business.
Marketplace.
And, well, let's pick this up, right? And let's move these pallets, right? So I can imagine that, you know, there can be some potential risk or mistakes there around the safety aspect as well. Like you mentioned, you know, wrong tire flexes just the wrong way, and you got to tip over or something like that. But how do you create, I guess, more awareness around that? How do you educate the consumer and those material handling users to be more cognizant of the type of tire they have?
We, as Interfit, when we have our sales guys go out, we have an account, whether it's existing or it's new, we always go in as a consultant with them. Obviously we want Trelleborg tires in their fleet, but we're also going to talk to them about what to look for. We hold training seminars all the time. We'll actually go out and ride along with their salespeople and their technicians. So when their techs are working on forklifts, they know what to identify when they're looking at that tire. So we really try to spread knowledge and awareness of the forklift tire industry because it's so unique. It's so nuanced on what to look for in applications. So we're very involved with our customers and making sure they also understand what we're doing. And when we go to do our billing and invoicing, we use a system called iFit, and it tracks all the data, which is really great for the customer because it generates really great metrics for them to look at. And it does it by machine. So they can actually track how many tires have been replaced on this machine, how many hours they're getting out of it. So if they see a problem, then we can also step in and reassess the situation and maybe make a recommendation to change either the product or the size of the tire or what have you. But we can make sure they're running efficiently.
Yeah, very interesting. And I think that's a great thing to do, right? Because like you said, it is so nuanced, right? It's, you know, not everybody is going to know right away if they look at the tire and say like, oh, this is the wrong tire, right? Or this tire needs to be changed, right? Unless they have the pit stop with the orange line. That's like the clear indicator, right? So really interesting what you guys are doing. And I love that you're focusing on developing that awareness too, right? And being able to be at that local level to help people to get the right tire, make sure that they're getting fit the right way, and making those swaps when they need to make those swaps. So now that we've talked, you know, I'm sure there's some people listening out there that now are thinking like, ooh, I need to check my tires. So if they need to go out to check their tires, or maybe they need you guys to come and take an assessment for them, what's the best way to figure that out? How do you find the local branch or the dealer that can help them do that?
You can go right online. We have our website, Interfit Group. It'll give you all the locations we have across the globe. And then in areas where we don't have coverage with Interfit, because we're still relatively new in the United States, we have an entire dedicated team of aftermarket sales on the Trelleborg side that can get you connected either with Interfit or one of our strategic partners who can go out and assess your fleet, do a survey, make their recommendations and whatever you need to do. Plus we can offer you the wear gauges if you need them free of charge. We have tutorials online that teach you how to look at a tire, how to gauge the wear on it, what to look for, trying to prevent those failures from happening, but still getting the most life out of your tire.
Yeah, I think that's fantastic, and definitely a great resource. And I appreciate you having me here in the booth to talk about this. I think it's a really interesting topic that probably not a lot of people focus in on, right? But it sounds like you're the pro for sure. So I'm glad we came to the pro here to be able to talk about this and get this information out to our listeners and create that awareness around tire safety, tire performance, and just having the right tires overall. So this is the PSA, right? Check your tires, make sure you're looking at them, and get in touch with Interfit.
Consult with professionals.
Definitely. So Robert, appreciate the time.
Appreciate it very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, thank you so much for tuning into today's video here on our YouTube channel, the New Warehouse Podcast, and I appreciate you tuning in. If you liked what you saw, make sure you subscribe to our channel, and if you like this video in particular, make sure you like it as well. And if you want to get this great t-shirt that you see in the video behind me, Warehouses Are Sexy, head to warehousesAreSexy.com and get your own.